What's up, Team Unaltered? Zach Munoz here. Today we are talking about which mode of exercise is most effective for weight loss, either cardio or weight training.
The action is in the triceps, the action is in the biceps, the action is in the deltoids. Yes.
Now make sure that you stay tuned until the end of this video, as I'll be sharing some real life action tips that you can apply to your training routines today to burn more calories and maximize your overall weight loss results. So make sure that you stay tuned. Alright, so we are comparing cardio versus weight training to see which one you should be doing to get that lean summer body. Unfortunately, the topic is not as black and white as it may seem. So first, I'll share some clinical studies so that we can see what the science tells us about it. I'll share some of the benefits of cardio and weight training, and then ultimately, I will conclude what is the best form of exercise that you should be doing to maximize calorie burning, lose weight, put on lean muscle, and enhance overall body composition. So let's jump right into it with the first study from Duke University Medical Center. The aim of this study was to see the effects that aerobic training and weight training had on body mass and fat mass. Body mass being your overall body weight, the number that you see on the scale, and fat mass being the weight solely attributed to fat, not considering your lean muscle tissue weight. Now, before I get into the method and ultimately the results of the study, I want to make a clear distinction between aerobic training and anaerobic training. Aerobic literally means with oxygen. In other words, your body is using oxygen to burn fats to produce ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is just a fancy word for saying your body's energy. This is low to moderate intensity forms of exercise, things like a treadmill, elliptical, stair stepper. Anaerobic training, on the other hand, is the opposite. It means without oxygen. In other words, your body is tapping in to stored muscle glycogen to burn glucose for energy for fuel. This is things like weight training.
Just doing my workout. Tuesday's arms and back.
Sprints, right? So going back to the study, Duke University took 119 adults and they split them up into 3 groups. They split them up into an aerobic training group, a resistance training group, and then a group that combined both resistance and aerobic training. They followed these individuals for 8 months. This is the longest and largest study that we have done to answer the ultimate question on what is better for weight loss. Is it cardio or is it weight training? What they found after 8 months of following these subjects is that the aerobic training group and the group that combined both aerobic training and resistance training lost more body mass and fat mass, so just more overall weight, than the resistance training group alone. However, the resistance training group gained more lean muscle mass. So the conclusion of the study was that yes, cardio, right, low intensity cardio, whether it's treadmill, elliptical, does burn more calories than weight training. However, the best exercise program is one that incorporates both aerobic training and resistance training, because the problem is that if you're only focused on the number on the scale going down, yes, you'll lose weight with aerobic training, low intensity cardio, but you're gonna end up looking like a deflated balloon if you just kill yourself with hours on end, day after day of just cardio. You need to be doing some sort of resistance training or weight training to put on lean muscle tissue so that not only do you lose weight, but you look good in the mirror, right? You have the nice curves, the nice thighs, chest, back, biceps, what everybody wants, a nice overall body composition appearance. So again, the conclusion of the study was that an optimal exercise routine is one that incorporates both aerobic cardio and weight training, resistance training. Now that we did a study that compares the difference between aerobic training and weight training, let's go over a study that goes over the difference of aerobic training versus weight training versus HIIT training, high intensity interval training. This study was published by the National Center for Biotechnology Information, where they took 9 adults and they put them through 4 exercises of the same duration each, 30 minutes for each exercise. There was a resistance training exercise, a treadmill exercise, a cycling exercise, and then ultimately a HIIT training exercise, high intensity interval training exercise. What they found was that the group that did the HIIT training, high intensity interval training, burned 33 to 43% more calories overall than any other mode of exercise. So the conclusion here is that HIIT training is the most effective for burning the most amount of calories within the same duration of time versus any other mode of exercise, whether that be low intensity cardio, treadmill, elliptical, or weight training, resistance training. Last, but certainly not least, we're going to look over the EPOC effect. Now, EPOC stands for excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. After we train and our heartbeat is running like crazy, our metabolism is going like crazy, our hormones are running around like crazy, our body needs to return to a metabolic state of rest, right? To homeostasis, a state of balance. And this is known as the EPOC effect. This effect in and of itself burns a lot of calories. So the aim of this study was to see how long this EPOC effect lasts after we partake from any given exercise session. And this one was documented by the European Journal of Applied Physiology, where they took 7 adult subjects and they put them through a 30-minute circuit training exercise that consisted of bench press, squats, and power cleans. What they found after examining their VO2, which is the rate that they're consuming oxygen, is that the EPOC effect for these subjects lasted up to 38 hours after their exercise session. This is huge. This means essentially that they were burning calories all the way up to 38 hours after the exercise session was complete. So even though low intensity forms of cardio like treadmill or elliptical burn more calories in a given single session versus a weight training session, weight training is a lot more effective in the long term for burning calories and overall weight loss. So what do all these studies mean? What it means is that the best form of exercise to do for weight loss and overall body composition is high intensity resistance training, which means that you need to apply high intensity exercise techniques to your weight training routines. And we're gonna go over the 3 most powerful intensity techniques to apply to your exercise routines right now, starting with number 1, going over supersets. Now, supersets is when you perform more than one exercise back to back of antagonistic muscle groups. For example, if I were to do pull-ups without rest, I would immediately go into bench press. So I'm doing one exercise for back and one exercise for the antagonistic or opposite muscle group, which would be chest. Another example would be to do an exercise for your quads, like a leg extension, and then do the opposite muscle group immediately after, like your hamstrings, which would be like a lying leg curl to focus on your hamstrings. So that is an extremely powerful intensity technique to apply to your training routines. Number 2, we're going over pre-exhaustion. This is when you perform an isolated exercise before a compound movement to increase blood flow and optimize overall calorie burning. An example of this would be to do leg extensions, for example, and then go right from a leg extension to a squat. So you're isolating the quads, getting blood flow in the quads, and then you're going right into your main compound movement, which is the squat, without any rest. Last and certainly not least is number 3, continuous tension. It's all about time under tension, which means how long are you performing your repetitions. A lot of us in the gym, and I see it a lot, right? People just slamming around the weights, not really having their mind on the muscle, just going rep after rep. Try to slow down, focus on the muscle-mind connection, and burn more calories. An example of this is a 3-to-1 ratio. In other words, on your next exercise routine, try coming 3 seconds down for whatever movement that you're doing and explode 1 second up. That is a total of 4 seconds for every single repetition. So if you're doing 10 reps, that's 10 times 4, that's 40 seconds in one given set. This optimizes calorie burning, it boosts your metabolism, it increases your muscle contraction, so you're putting on more lean muscle tissue, and ultimately enhancing your overall body composition. So those are the 3 most powerful techniques to apply to your exercise routines to optimize calorie burning and lose weight. That's the tips for increasing your intensity. Ultimately, guys, at the end of the day, it all comes down to intensity and consistency. You need to be able to exercise at higher levels of intensity that burn more calories and recruit more muscle fibers so that you can lose more weight on the scale and look good when you look in the mirror. So thank you so much again for taking the time to watch this video. Leave a comment, let me know what you thought about the video, if it helped you. Thank you again. Until next time, Zach Munoz out.